Well, we already warmed up. We hit a set of 145. We're gonna hit a couple 205, and last week I got, I believe it was a 3x5 with 225. So we're going to try to hit a 4x5 this week. See if we can add a rep to every set. Well, not a rep to every set, but last week we got 15 reps with the 225. We're gonna try to hit a 4x5 and get 20 reps. So see how that goes. All right, that's a good warm up. We're gonna put a 10 on each side because we are a noob and we do not have 245s. So it doesn't look as nice when you're doing the 225 without the two plates, but have to pull my other 10 from my pull-up bag. All right, that's 225. We're gonna see if we can get 4 reps. All right, didn't feel too bad. That extra rep on the set though feels like a lot. When you go from 3 reps to 4 reps with something that's already relatively heavy for you. Give it about a 2-minute rest. Feel like when you're doing heavy sets, you really need a couple minutes. Recover the nervous system. So I'm going for strength right now. I'm eventually going to shoot for a 315 bench, but I really wasn't training strength for the first 6 months I was lifting. I was really just cutting down, had to lose a bunch of weight, went from like 210 pounds to 155 pounds. I got ripped. I mean, I was like nearly 10%, I'd say, and I just wasn't strong, you know? And I feel like I definitely want to be stronger. And you're not really gonna, unless you're like super genetic freak, you're not gonna be pushing like 315 at 150 pounds when you're 5'9". You know what I mean? So I've kind of embraced the bulk and the strength grind. All right, let's see if we can hit another set here. See if we can get 4 more here. See, last week I had a total of 15 reps. So if I hit this 4x5, I'll be hitting 20 reps, which would be awesome. Be a really good overload, but we'll see how we feel. Let me skip this ad. Mid-set, you get an ad, bro. It's over. You know, you're cooked. Nice. That's 2 sets of 4. That's awesome because, I'm not kidding you, when I started to bulk after I'd cut to 155, I couldn't bench 205 once. And I started bulking about 5 months ago, and I'm trying to add a pound a week. So it's 4 pounds a month. It's kind of a lot. A lot of people will tell you maybe 2 pounds a week. But I was so lean, I feel like I could really benefit and capitalize on new gains that I honestly never have capitalized on. And I feel like I'm putting on a ton of muscle and not a lot of fat, so I feel like we're going in a good direction. I'm like 5 months in, and I'm at 174 pounds right now, and I'm literally right on track for my 4 pounds a month. I'm almost right on point, dialed in. I haven't gotten too fat, still ride the bike, I'm doing my cardio. I think strength training is important, and you can't overdo it with the cardio, because I've had to cut back my cardio just because system fatigue, you know, like how can you go ride 2 hours on your bike and then hit a PR on bench or squat? It's just not gonna happen, you know what I mean? Like systemic fatigue's real. All right, see if we can hit this 3rd set for 4. Whew. Last rep though, really kind of had to dive bomb that last one. Really not a fan of doing that, but it's still good, semi-good form, I think. Like, I haven't had any shoulder issues. Even when I was 155 pounds and I was benching much lighter, I was doing it wrong. I was having a lot of shoulder issues. Just getting a form dialed in. And you may take a cut to strength in the beginning. You might be doing like 180, then you go to clean form and it's 165 for 2 weeks and you hate it, but eventually you're back to the 185, 205, and you're doing it right, and you're not getting hurt. So I think form's really important. I'm going to normally I'll do my heavy bench, 3 to 5 sets, and then I like to hit some kind of accessory, like I'll either do some close grip bench, hit some triceps, or I'll hit some dips, or even push-ups. Like, push-ups after some heavy sets are pretty nice. I mean, don't underestimate push-ups. And I'll normally train chest. I like to do chest. I like to do triceps. And I like to do shoulders all on the same day, because I feel like they all kind of synergize together. On the bench, you're using your triceps anyway. And that's why I like to add in like the close grip bench, because it's kind of like a double whammy. You get some tricep and chest after you've done all your heavy stuff. So I think the accessories at the end can be pretty good. I don't think you should come in and do 4 sets of flies, though, for your chest and call it a day. I feel like I was using dumbbells in the beginning and it just wasn't getting it done, wasn't getting strong. When I switched to barbell, I feel like everything just got better, got beefier, thicker. I think those compound barbell lifts like bench, overhead press, deadlift, squat, just build a lot of base muscle, and then you can kind of throw in stuff on the end. You know what I mean? All right. Let's see if we can hit this 4 set for 4. I was just doing the math in my head and realized my math's garbage. A 4x4 is only 16 reps, so I really need a 4x5 to hit 20 reps. All right. Well, there's the 4x4, so that beats out the 3x5 already. So anything beyond here would be nice. If I could hit another 4 set, would consider that huge overload. That would be plus 5 reps from last week with the 225. So and like when I started doing these, and I'm still learning these heavy compounds, like I sucked at bench. It was terrible. couldn't do 205, you know. I hit 255 last week, so that's 50-pound increase in 5 months. So right now I'm adding 10 pounds a month on the bench, which I think is pretty good. And I'm not getting too out of shape, too fat. Still pretty lean. I'm not 10%, but I think anywhere between 15 and 20 can build some really good muscle. And I needed to get to about 175, 180 to be where I want to be to build some optimal muscle. After this, I'll probably hit close grip, probably take 185, do 2 sets of 5 to 6 reps, hopefully 6. Last week I hit 5 reps with the 185 for 2 sets. So if we can overload and hit 6 reps for 2 sets after this, that would be huge. But I don't know how I'm feeling about this last set. It's feeling pretty heavy right now. But as of right now, I've already beat last week's PR of 15 reps with 16 reps. I've got another set in me, whether it's 3 reps or 4. We'll see. That's volume added, you know? I'm not ever gonna complain about adding a rep to every set, especially when you're fairly new to the weight. I'm really seeing some strength gains. All right, we need this set, boys. We don't want to get pinned. We got this. Big PRs. Well, we did not have the 4x5. We got the 4x4 plus 3. So I think we take that. Not what we wanted, but we'll take the 19 reps. We'll take the 4 reps instead of the 5. Oh man. The roll of shame. To failure though. You have to go to failure sometimes. Gotta push it, gotta push the PRs. Alright. Let's pull this off and get ready for some close grip. See, sometimes, boys, you have to do the roll of shame, you know? The roll of shame. See, if I was a beast, I would just clean this up, this 135, and throw it on the bar. But we're weak. We are still using 115 for the overhead press, but We're keeping the form right. We're learning the movement. I think it's more important to focus on form first, for sure. You don't just want to be ego lifting with new exercises. The way to get hurt, I've never really been injured, so I feel like I've been pretty lucky in that department. All right, we're gonna awkwardly try to get this back up on the bar. Actually, I'm gonna pull a fucking West Coast Wolverine and just throw this up on the bar. All right, let's get these 25s on here. Get ready for 2 sets of closed grip. You know, stuff like this really bothered me. Even incline pressing and this closed grip really messed with me when my form was off with my shoulders. Ever since dialing in the form, I think it's helped a ton with just the shoulder issues. I'm benching heavier than I ever have, and I'm having no issues right now. I feel like the overhead press too, starting to do that. It's just giving me a lot of mobility and strength in my shoulders. All right, let's try to hit 6 with this 185 close grip. I like to bring it in just a little bit more narrow than shoulder width. There's 6. That's plus 1 rep last week. So if we can hit one more set of 6, that'd be huge. Be all PRs from last week. Probably going to do some overhead press after this. And you know, I kind of like to mix it up. I'm always doing bench first because I want my bench, I'm going for 315. So I'm working on bench the hardest, but for my second and third exercises, like one day I'll do triceps first, or second rather, after bench. And then next day I might do shoulder second, you know, because I feel like as you go through the workout, you probably have less energy, less strength for the last muscle. So I like to switch up to second and third movement periodically. That way, you know, you're hitting shoulders hard one day, a little lighter the next day. All right, let's hit this last set. Hopefully, no more rolls of shame. God damn it. Well, at least it wasn't 225 this time. So, 1 rep. Motherfucker. Well, you saw it here first, ladies and gentlemen. 2 rolls of shame in 1 workout. At least you know you're training hard. Train hard for them gains. I'm gonna do some overhead press.